Today we're back on Modern Warfare 2. For anyone curious, I've actually been making a pretty good amount of progress towards getting a Ryan camo. Right now, I have 28 out of the 51 platinum challenges that I need to unlock the polyatomic challenges. At this point, I'm mainly just working on SMG long shots. After that, I have to go through, get the marksman rifles, the sniper rifles, and the battle rifles complete, which those honestly won't be too bad because there's not too many weapons in each of those categories. I got the long shots done for literally every other class. I literally only have to do the SMGs and one pistol at this point, and then I'm also going to knock out the melee weapons. After that point, I'm probably going to chillax on Modern Warfare 2 for a couple days because they're going to have a massive double player XP, weapon XP, and battle pass XP event going on this weekend from Friday until Tuesday, so I'm not going to use any of my tokens. I'm just going to wait and utilize that. Anyways, the gameplay is going to be kind of like secondary today. There's something more important that I actually really wanted to talk about. Normally, I don't really cover like trending topics or news type things on this channel, especially not when it's like on the negative side. I try to keep these videos as positive as possible each and every single day. But as a creator, and especially as a creator with like a decent sized following, I feel like whenever stuff like this comes up, it's my job and my duty to cover news like this and to bring more awareness to it. As I'm always saying on this channel, you know, I'm the type of guy that likes to stick up for the little guy. And in this instance, it's more important than ever that I stick up for the little guy in this situation, especially when there's a multi-billion-dollar company that is bullying the little guy. So originally, like I said, I wasn't going to make a video on this. I was just kind of going to let it, you know, play its course, just kind of watch from the sidelines. But after what happened yesterday, I knew I had to say something about it. So as you probably all know at this point, a couple of days ago, Activision sent a cease and desist to the creators of SM2. And, you know, for that one, I kind of understood it because they were using Activision's engine and a lot of their assets and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, you know what, as unfortunate as that is, I can at least understand why Activision is taking these measures to get this project shut down, even though, like, I will admit, I think that it's still unfair, and I think SM2 should still be allowed to exist. I can at least understand from a legal standpoint why they're doing it and why they're allowed to do it. And before we discuss what happened yesterday, I want to explain why what happened yesterday was so important. So, as many of you probably know at this point, older Call of Duties have a tendency to be hacked to absolute oblivion. Like, when it comes to playing multiplayer matches, you're going to be playing against hackers. When you're playing zombies, like, especially for content creators, like streamers especially, anytime that they try to play zombies on stream, those same hackers are able to shut down their entire match just from knowing their gamer tag. So say, for example, one of the more notable creators that I can think of is like Mr. T Lexify. Say he goes on stream, or say he's trying to make a video and there's some random hacker just sitting in his mom's basement. And he's like, you know what, tee-hee-hee, I'm gonna ruin this person's stream. And just from knowing Mr. T Lexify's gamer tag, which you could easily obtain through watching the stream, he could go and not only shut down his match, but he could also obtain his personal information. Like, just from knowing his gamer tag, he could go in, obtain his IP address, which then means if he wanted to, he could obtain like Mr. T Lexify's address and other more personal information and just straight up dox him. This obviously isn't exclusive to just somebody like, say, Mr. T Lexify. This was just like my example. And this isn't even just relegated to creators. This is literally anybody that plays Black Ops 3 or any of the older Call of Duties. It is literally a security threat, especially on PC, to play games like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, World of War. Any of the older Call of Duties are a genuine personal and security threat to yourself to play. And Activision has done absolutely nothing about this, but I'll tell you what they did do. So the people over at XLabs yesterday got a cease and desist for their client called BOIII. If you don't know what BOIII is, it isn't actually like called BOIII. It's like BOIII. It's like BO3 with Roman numerals, but everybody just kind of calls it BOIII. And this client literally did nothing wrong. All that it was a client for Black Ops 3 specifically that allowed you to play the game without the risk of being doxxed and having your personal security and information be at risk. There was nothing else to it. It wasn't even a mod for the game. It wasn't something that allowed players to pirate the game. It was nothing like that. It was literally just a dedicated server and client that allowed players to play the game without being at risk of having all their personal information and security be threatened and at risk the entire time that they're playing the game, in the same way that you would be if you played the game without using that third-party client. But for some reason, Activision felt the need, even though there was nothing wrong with this client. In fact, this client was beneficial to the consumers, and to a certain extent, I bet that it would be beneficial for Activision, because it has been known for a very long time now amongst the community just how much of a security threat that these older Call of Duty games are to play. And thus, a lot of people have actually been rather hesitant to go ahead and buy these older Call of Duties from not wanting to have all their personal information and security be at risk or have their personal information stolen. But now that a client like this exists, there's been tons and tons of people hopping on these older Call of Duties, purchasing Black Ops 3. In fact, Black Ops 3 was in the top 10 selling charts for Steam the other week. These clients are actually doing nothing but benefiting Activision. And furthermore, not only has it been benefiting benefiting Activision, but it has also obviously been benefiting the consumers. So what did Activision decide to do? They sent a cease and desist to XLabs to shut down this client. So now if you want to play Black Ops 3, you're forced to play on Activision servers, you're forced to play on the vanilla client and servers, which means that the entire time that you're playing the game, all of your personal security, all of your personal information is at risk. You could literally be doxxed just for playing Black Ops 3. I feel bad for all the poor folks that, you know, get off work after a long day, say they're working like a 9 to 5, or even worse, maybe they're working a 9 to 9. Maybe they got like a 12-hour shift. They want to go home, they just want to kick back, play some Black Ops 3 multiplayer or custom zombies on PC. And those poor people could literally just be hacked offline or straight out doxxed because they didn't know that the way that the game is now is just a genuine threat to play. I'm sorry for getting so heated in this video, but like I take this stuff so seriously. And say for the people like that before that, you know, maybe didn't know about how terrible Activision's like vanilla client and servers are, maybe say they have one bad experience with it and then they find out about a client like BOIII and it allows them to actually get back on the game and play it without being at risk of having all their personal information and security be at risk and being stolen. Now that Activision has shut this whole thing down, I mean, what are those players supposed to do? I mean, is playing a match of custom zombies really worth having all of your personal information stolen and possibly being doxxed? I'll tell you one thing, for me, it definitely personally isn't, especially with me being a YouTuber. I arguably have even more of my security on the line by booting up Black Ops 3 on my PC. I have deleted the game from my PC. But going back to my original point, say that somebody originally was to get on Black Ops 3 and they had one bad experience with the vanilla client and servers, so they went ahead and did a little bit of like, I don't know, extra research and they found the BOIII client and it allowed them to play the game without being at risk of being doxxed. Well, now that Activision has shut this thing down, that means that people like that and people like me no longer have an actual safe way to play Black Ops 3 and therefore have no desire to play Black Ops 3. And do you want to know what that means? In the grand scheme of things, that does nothing but hurt Activision because I'm not playing their game, which means that their player counts are lower. Even though it's on an older game, those player counts still do matter because the longer that a player is on a game, the more likely they are to spend money, especially on a game with as many microtransactions as something like, say, Black Ops 3. Whether that be through players buying like the, you know, the season pass or different DLC packs or COD points or liquid diviniums on that game. Well, those players that could have originally bought some sort of microtransactions through that game just from playing the game and enjoying it because they had a safe way to play the game, well, Activision's just losing out on that money now because they shut down the only safe way, the only safe and guaranteed way to play that game. And don't get me wrong, like obviously I'm sitting here playing Modern Warfare 2 right now. I love Activision, I love their games, I love Call of Duty, but right now I seriously have to sit here and wonder and ask, like, what are they doing? I've never seen a company be so hell-bent on destroying their reputation with their community, and not only their reputation with their community, but their trust with their community, and furthermore, just destroying the community and the player counts themselves, because by shutting down this client, again, they are doing nothing but hurting themselves and their own player counts. They are losing players and money. So to Activision, I just have to ask, what is your motivation? What is your reason? Why are you doing it? Why are you killing your own games? Because while obviously, yes, this does hurt the player, I mean, I've said it multiple times at this point, but this also hurts Activision, so it doesn't make any sense to me as to why they are doing this. And then you have all the internet lurking incel Activision bootlickers sitting on Twitter trying to defend these actions. I'm sorry, I'm from planet Earth, and I have no idea what planet y'all have to be from to even think that that mindset is even close to being objectively correct or defendable. On planet Earth, we use our brains to think through things, okay? So to anyone that's defending Activision over any of this, please go back to whatever planet you're from, because I honestly have no idea what planet that would be, what solar system or what galaxy system that would be. I swear Patrick Starr is literally smarter than half of the idiots that sit on the internet defending multi-billion-dollar companies as if they are justified in bullying the little guy. Not to mention the fact that these devs put so many hours, days, weeks, months, literal years into developing these clients, into developing SM2, and then Activision just comes in and just like that, it's all gone in the blink of an eye. Now, I will admit this, legally speaking, are they entirely entitled to doing this? Yes, they are 110% entitled to doing this, and they are most certainly allowed to do it. It is their IP, it is their property, it is their game. But the real question is, should they be doing this? Is this actually morally right? And I'll tell you right now, of course it is not. And furthermore, not only is it not right, but it doesn't make any sense, again, from their perspective. I could go on and on talking about this, but at this point, if it wasn't clear enough, I'm actually, like, genuinely pretty heated. I'm at the point of where I'm like heated and I can't even focus on my own commentary at this point. It all just comes back to the one question of why. Like, why is this even happening in the first place? What is Activision's motive? There's been a bunch of like tinfoil hat theories about like, well, you know, Activision might be trying to tank their own reputation, so then it doesn't seem like they're that big of a company, so then the CMA and the FTC will allow the Microsoft acquisition to go through. But to that I must ask, is it really worth it? I mean, I know Activision only thinks with their wallets, but like, come on, man. Gamers aren't stupid. We will remember these things. And while yes, me sitting here and complaining about about this could be hypocritical to a certain extent because I am literally playing Modern Warfare 2 in this video. I paid for the Vault edition of their game. So while yes, to a certain extent, I'm doing exactly what they wanted. I deleted Black Ops 3 and now I am playing their new game, spending more money on their new game, and that is exactly what they want. But as I stated in the beginning of this video, you want to know something? I enjoy Call of Duty. I enjoy Activision's games, so I'm not just gonna simply stop playing what I love and what I enjoy just to boycott their game for a bit, because in the grand scheme of things, a little boycott of a few thousand people on the internet, that does not mean anything to Activision compared to the millions of players that they have daily across all of their Call of Duty games and the literal billions of dollars that they make off of each singular Call of Duty game. Modern Warfare 2 alone is worth billions of dollars. My $100 that I spent on the Vault Edition and, you know, maybe like a couple pod points purchases here and there for like different battle passes and stuff, that is nothing. Bobby Kotick is literally wiping with that. Activision is literally sitting there putting Donald Trump's wallet to shame. These guys could literally replace their headquarters, all of the infrastructure that makes up that building, like all of the concrete, all of the steel beams, they could replace it all with dollar bills. Each of those dollar bills being Benjamins, and it still wouldn't make a single dent in how much money they have. All of that is to say, you know, even if I would boycott the game, even if people online do try to boycott the game and, you know, a few thousand people get on board, at the end of the day, it's not gonna make a difference to Activision. They're still making their money, so they're still happy, they're still content. I understand the point of boycotts, and I understand why so many people bring it up when bad things like this happen, but realistically, at the end of the day, those things for a game of this scale, it will never amount to anything. It'll just blow over as quick as it showed up, and that'll be that. So while I don't really buy into the whole doom and gloom, there's no solution mindset, at this current point in time, at least when it comes to these older Call of Duties, I don't know what the solution is, and I don't know if we're ever going to find one. Now, there's been some speculation that maybe the reason they're shutting down these clients is because they're working on their own remaster projects, and therefore having these clients up might interfere with that, or some plans that they have in some way, but even to that extent, it still doesn't make any sense because that's not really the point. The point is just that these older games are such a security risk to play in the first place, and that's why these clients have to exist, so them shutting it down is just simply anti-consumerism at its finest. Anyway, I've been blabbering on for a while now. I'm getting so heated. I gotta bring it back together. Just try to be as peaceful as possible. So let's just stop focusing on the doom and gloom in the current state. What can we do going forward, and what is the solution to all of this gonna be? And to be honest with you guys, I honestly have no idea. The only thing that I can think to do is to go on an all-out rampage online. In Activision's comment sections, on Twitter, on YouTube, and everything, we need to, like, launch a full-scale attack. For most gamers, normally, like I said, they would normally say, hey, vote with your wallets, don't buy this and that, but again, for Activision Call of Duty, it's such a huge IP that that's not going to make a difference. We need to just make our voices heard. Again, some people may be like, well, that's not going to change anything, but to be fair, it has worked in the past with several Call of Duties. The most recent example being in Vanguard Zombies. So many players in the Zombies community complained about how Zombies was in Call of Duty Vanguard, and they completely course corrected. They changed their entire vision of that, like, Outbreak hybrid mode in Zombies and took the dev time to recreate round-based Zombies just for Vanguard because the community was that upset. So if the community could influence a change that big for Call of Duty Vanguard, I have hope that if we try and make our voices heard to that level again with this BOIII client, I'm not saying that it will be the end-all be-all solution, but we could see some progress towards the right direction. Again, is it guaranteed to work? No, but it is definitely worth a try. And all of my fellow creators have been doing an absolutely amazing job at that within the last 24 hours with all the videos that I've been seeing going up about this problem. So now, at this point, I think the best course of action is to just keep making our voices heard. We need to be in their comment sections. We need to be making videos, TikToks, everything that you can. We need to stop this, and we need to fix this. Bring back BOIII client, and you know what? Bring back SM2. And before the slimy pigs at Activision do it, we need to prevent them from shutting down Plutonium, because we all know that that one is going to be next. With that being said, again, I apologize for being so heated in this video. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and it is something that I take very seriously. And it just seriously ticks me off when I see these multi-billion-dollar companies bullying the little guy for absolutely no reason besides corporate. Again, I mean, I would call it corporate greed, but it's not even corporate greed because it hurts their wallets again at the end of the day. It doesn't make any sense. But for whatever the reasons are, it just annoys me when the big multi-billion-dollar companies are bullying the little guys. So I'm just here to voice my opinions on this and to hopefully help steer things in the right direction towards getting the much deserved justice for the client, the developers of the client, and for the entire community as a whole. But anyways, yeah, with that being said, I wasn't planning on this whole video to be a rant. I was planning to at least calm it down and then go back to like camo grinding at some point throughout this, but I just completely lost myself. So I apologize if there was a lot of ramblings, a lot of like repeated words. It's just I want to see results, and I just seriously want things to change. Like, these clients should be allowed to exist. Anyway, I'll stop myself before I go on any more tangents, before I rant anymore. I'm just Just gonna keep it composed. I would definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments on all of this. And again, go out on all the social medias. Not only make your voices heard, but to make all of our voices heard. Anyway, as always, a shout out to the Patrons and channel members, coming figure. I'm a Liberty Tabby, Dynamite, Chalupasaurus Rex, Razak, Polar Ray, Webster, Lamas, Roncas, Victoria, Passant, Melaskin, Queen Imagine, Mason, Irving, Chuba 15, Flemington 1, and Reynolds Unknown, and Christopher Huerta. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.